Good evening and welcome to the news roundup for Tuesday the 1st of October. Before we get into the news, please remember to like this video, share your views in the comments, and share the video with your family and friends.
Reach them! Always make sure the message reach them!
Now for the news in detail. The standoff between Prime Minister Andrew Holness and the Integrity Commission concerning his uncertified statutory declarations has taken a major turn. The Prime Minister has gone to the Supreme Court to seek judicial review of the actions, non-actions, and comments made by the Commission and the two of its directors, Craig Beresford and the Director of Information and Complaints, Kevin Stevenson, Director of Investigations. The move by Holness relates to the contents of two reports tabled in Parliament which concern his statutory declarations. The first report is dated August 5, 2024 and the second September 30, 2024. The application filed is stamped September 30, 2024 in the Civil Division of the Supreme Court. It names Holness and three of his companies, Imperium Holdings Limited, Positive Media Solutions, and the Positive Jamaica Foundation as the three applicants. The companies named are the same three flagged by the Integrity Commission as a subject of further investigation. The Integrity Commission has declared publicly that it wants a probe to be done by Tax Administration Jamaica and the Financial Investigations Division. Beresford, Stevenson, and the Integrity Commission are the three respondents. Holness's attorneys have set down 30 points on which they are seeking judicial review. Among them are that Craig Beresford and or the Commission failed to or refused to certify his 2021 and 2022 statutory declarations and or provide reasons for being unable to certify them, and that Kevin Stevenson carried out an investigation into the Prime Minister's 2022 and 2023 declarations, although there was no referral for an investigation by Craig Beresford. Holness's lawyers also want judicial review of the decision to continue or keep the investigation open in relation to the Prime Minister's 2021 declaration, notwithstanding findings or conclusions that for the year 2021 there was a negative net worth of $10.4 million. This means that there was no unexplained growth in the Prime Minister's net worth, which, according to the numbers, declined by the said $10.4 million. Holness's attorneys also want judicial review of the act or decision to recommend the referral of two of the three companies linked to Holness to the TAJ and FID. His lawyers want the court to make 20 orders or declarations in its client's favor and award him damages for breach of privacy, including stigma damages, damages for negligent investigation, vindicator damages, cost, and such further or other relief as a court may deem necessary or appropriate. The Westmoreland police say investigators are yet to establish a motive in the last night's mass shooting at a bar in Betheltown, which saw 8 people being shot, 4 fatally. 3 of the 4 deceased have since been identified. They are 41-year-old Tyler Damian Baker, Odean Scott, otherwise called Moses, and Rocky Lawrence. Reports from the Betheltown police are that about 10:20 p.m., patrons were gathered at a bar in New Road in Betheltown when a black Toyota Fielder motorcar drove up and several armed men exited the vehicle and immediately opened gunfire on the crowd. The police were alerted, and on their arrival, all 8 injured persons were assisted to the hospital. 4 men were pronounced dead on arrival, while the injured were admitted for treatment.
Act of terror by gunmen. The incident occurred at 10:20 p.m. at a bar in the area where an unpermitted event was being held. Report is indicating that a motor car drove into the area from which 4 armed men alighted and started firing indiscriminately at patrons at the bar. When the shooting subsided, 4 individuals were dead, including one Ashade Spence, OC Future, who was also a perpetrator in this incident. He was shot and killed by his cronies. 8 .54 cartridges was found in his pocket, and information is that a firearm was removed from the scene. This is a devastating tragedy for the New Roads community and for the family who are now mourning the loss of their loved one. We understand your pain that comes with losing family members under such tragic and horrific circumstances, and we stand with you during your period of grief. The police is actively investigating the matter, and all resources are being utilized to bring the perpetrators to justice. We are calling on anyone with information about the shooting or those who have witnessed the incident to come forward and assist the police. Community cooperation is vital in ensuring that justice is served and the perpetrators are brought to justice and further violence is prevented. We are appealing to those involved in hiding or removing the firearm from the scene to immediately turn it over to the police. Every effort must be made to remove illegal guns from our streets, especially when they are connected with acts of violence. The incident marks a dark moment in the fight against gun violence in Westmoreland, a parish that has achieved marked reduction in murders and other categories of violent crimes. The Westmoreland Police assure residents that all effort will be made to continue disrupting criminal activities.
Former West St. Mary Member of Parliament Jolian Silvera, who is charged with the murder of his wife, will return to court on October 11th. Silvera was remanded into custody when he appeared in the gun court in downtown Kingston last Thursday. The 52-year-old Silvera is charged with the murder of his wife, Melissa. He is also charged with using a firearm to commit a felony. Melissa Silvera was found dead at her home in Stonehill, St. Andrew on the 10th of November 2023. Initial reports were that the 42-year-old woman died in her sleep from natural causes. However, an autopsy later revealed that she died from gunshot wounds. Silvera was arrested and charged in January this year. He was denied bail in May. Members of the media remain barred from covering the proceedings in keeping with the provisions of the Gun Court Act. Licensed firearm holders will begin paying more to renew their weapons as of today. The renewal fee has jumped from $12,000 per year to $20,000, while new applicants for a gun license will now pay $30,000 up from $12,000. The Firearm Licensing Authority FLA announced on Monday. One gun owner told reporters that he was informed Monday about the hike, which he described as too steep. "This is just too much," he said. "From $12,000 to $20,000, this is ridiculous." However, FLA Chief Executive Officer Shane Dalling said that the increases are the first in a decade. The last increase was in 2014 when the renewal fee moved from $8,000 to $12,000, Dalling said. The FLA says there are 44,000 licensed firearm holders in the country. A policeman has been charged for the shooting death of a man during an altercation in Falmouth, Trelawney last November. Police Constable Junior Howlett was taken before the Trelawney Parish Court on Friday, where he was granted $900,000 bail with 1 to 2 sureties. Reporting conditions were also imposed. Howlett is scheduled to return to court on the 16th of October. He was charged in relation to the November 4, 2023 off-duty fatal shooting of 25-year-old Adju Hall in the vicinity of a nightclub on Harbour Street in Falmouth. It is alleged that an altercation between Howlett and Hall resulted in the cop discharging his firearm. No firearm was recovered from the deceased during the incident. The murder charge is as a result of a completed investigation by the Independent Commission of Investigations (INDECOM) and a ruling by the Office of the Director of Public Prosecutions. Residents of Bryden Street in Dunkirk, Kingston, are rebuffing claims by the police on the scene that a resident who was killed during an alleged firefight on Monday afternoon had engaged the security forces in a shootout. Dead is Tawada Welch, a resident of the East Kingston community. Information is that Tawada was recently released from prison. INDECOM has commenced a probe into the fatal shooting. At the same time, residents are crying foul, labeling the policemen involved in the incident as cold-blooded murderers. The Jamaica Labour Party's Matty Samuda has won Monday's by-election in North East St. Ann. That is according to the final results from the Electoral Office of Jamaica. Of the 146 boxes counted, Samuda secured 4,838 votes. That is 95%. The independent candidate David Fritz Anderson secured 222 votes, or 4%. The United Independence Congress Chase Neal received 30 votes, or 1%. Voter turnout was 11.6%. Tax Administration Jamaica has announced that motorists are now able to renew their motor vehicle registration certificate online at jamaicatax.gov.jm. TAJ says the move follows the full implementation of the first phase of online motor vehicle registration renewal. During the pilot phase, which ran from April 1 to September 30, approximately 2,800 of 2,900 applicants were processed, with data indicating that more than 90% of the applicants were processed within one business day. Commissioner General of the TAJ, Ainsley Powell, says the authority has refreshed and fine-tuned the online service with enhanced security features, greater usability, and a more seamless transition of the service process. Taxpayers owning a private motor vehicle with valid insurance certificates, cover notes, and fitness may apply and pay for their renewal online and then pick up the certificate and the sticker within 3 business days at one of 6 tax offices involved in this phase, utilizing a special pickup window. The participating locations are the revenue centers in Kingston, St. Andrew and Montego Bay, and the tax offices in Spanish Town, Maypen and St. Anne's Bay. Taxi operators and residents in Glasgow, Westmoreland and Kendal, Hanover blocked the shared main road to vent their frustration with the delay in the start of rehabilitation work. Debris was set on fire and placed across the pothole-riddled thoroughfare, preventing access for several hours. Following a 3-day protest along another section of the roadway in September last year, the National Works Agency said based on the unavailability of funds, the road will have to be fixed in stages. In business, the Bank of Jamaica has further reduced its interest rate by 25 basis points to 6.5%. The reduction comes into effect today, October 1. The decision was made at a recent meeting of the bank's Monetary Policy Committee. The BOJ says it anticipates point-to-point inflation to fall back within the target range of 4 to 6% over the next 8 quarters. As at the end of July, inflation was 6.5%. The BOJ says the Jamaican economy over the near term is expected to be affected by the adverse impact of Hurricane Beryl and the lagged effects of monetary policy on spending. However, the bank projects that real economic activity for the fiscal year is likely to be better than the last forecast due to a less negative estimate of the impact of Hurricane Beryl. Meanwhile, the BOJ says the domestic banking system remains sound with adequate capital and liquidity. It also says the domestic fiscal policy stance continues to pose no risk to inflation over the near term. And on the entertainment scene, clients of the Bellevue Hospital in Kingston are set to benefit from a recent handover of equipment by the Bounty Foundation. The donation of 2 air conditioning units, 5 wheelchairs, and 9 walkers was received by Bellevue Hospital Chief Executive Officer Suzette Buchanan on September 26. Buchanan said that the donation not only marks a significant enhancement in Bellevue's facilities, but also highlights the ongoing commitment of the Bounty Foundation to mental health advocacy and community upliftment. Bounty Killer said that he was moved by a recent television feature that highlighted a donation of roofing materials to the institution by some young men following Hurricane Beryl, showcasing the impact of community support. Inspired by their generosity and the critical role of family involvement in mental health recovery, he decided to take a step to further support the work of the hospital through his foundation. And that is it for your news roundup for today. We would appreciate you liking this video, leaving a comment, and sharing the video with your family and friends. Have a good evening and see you next time.